Did you know that Bob's Burgers was originally pitched as a story about a family of cannibals?
NANI?!
Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Thursday Thoughts, where we talk about all kinds of stuff that I'm thinking about. And I wanted to start with some good news today. What is my good news? I forgot my good news. I wrote it down though. So my good news, this past weekend, me and my husband were able to go to a marriage retreat, and that was really good. It was nice just getting to learn about healthy relationship and how to treat each other, all the way down to the tone in our voice and our body language and how to build each other up, and just helpful, practical things to do to make our relationship better and better. So that was really good, and that was a highlight of the week. But anyways, if you guys have good news, let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. I love talking about good news, or maybe something just that you're grateful for. You know, I feel like we don't talk enough about just gratitude. So let me know what you're grateful for. We're going to talk about some anime recommendations that I have. I have really been in my anime bag lately. I used to watch a ton of it and then have not for the past 5 to 7 years. I haven't really watched it. So I'm getting back into it and it's exciting. I feel like a little girl again. And I love kind of having a hobby once again. So yeah, so I have 3 recommendations and I mainly watch romance anime. So if you enjoy romance anime, this is going to be for you. My first recommendation is A Sign of Affection. Oh my gosh, you are going to love this. It's so good. But it's about a girl who's deaf and she meets this guy on a train. There's a foreigner who's trying to talk to her and ask her questions, and she's kind of freaking out because she can't hear. And this guy, he notices that she's having some trouble and he ends up talking with the other guy and helps him out. But in that interaction, this guy who helped her out finds out that she's deaf because she does a bit of sign. And from that moment, he's interested already because she's different and she's really cute. But it goes from there. They go to the same college and she ends up meeting with him because they have a mutual friend, and things kind of just go from there. But it is a beautiful story. It will tug at your heartstrings. It's different. I feel like you don't see, or at least I haven't seen, a ton of anime that surround disabilities and things like that. So it was just refreshing. It's a great story, well made, good romance. You need to watch it. The male lead is very attractive. It's got a lot of good stuff. So you should check out A Sign of Affection. The next one that I want to recommend is Apothecary Diaries. Now, this was under the romance section. However, I feel like it's more of a mystery historical drama with some splashes of romance in it. So I don't want you to go into it thinking, oh my gosh, this is a romance anime, because I went into it thinking that and was a little disappointed. However, it's still a really good story and I highly recommend it. So a little bit of the plot. This girl, Mao, she's an apothecary. She's out picking some herbs in a field. She gets kidnapped and sold off to the palace to work as a servant. And while she's a servant, a couple of the concubines, the high-ranking concubines, have children and their babies are sick and they're dying, and the palace doctor can't figure out why. But of course, she's super smart and she looks outside of the box and she has extensive knowledge of just everything, basically. Different environmental irritants and things like that. And she ends up telling the concubines secretly the reason why their children are getting sick, and she saves one of their lives. Unfortunately, one of them dies, but she does end up saving one of their lives. And they were doing an investigation to try and figure out who was the one who gave the advice, and one of these high up officials found out that it was her, and he very much takes an interest in her and raises her to a lady in waiting of one of the high ranking concubines. She was a lower ranking servant who did laundry and things like that. So she gets bumped up to that. She becomes like a food taster and she starts to work with the palace doctor and all that kind of stuff. The art style is fantastic. I really enjoyed the female lead, Mao, and just her character. Like, she's very witty, she's very smart, she's funny without even realizing it. She's just a great character and it's a good storyline. Very satisfying story with a little bit of romance thrown in there. And then my third recommendation is Honey Lemon Soda. I enjoyed this one. I feel like this is exactly like the shoujo manga anime that I used to eat up when I was younger. It's about this girl who is very shy. She's bullied. She's very, timid. She doesn't really stand up for herself and she gets easily bullied because of that. And one day this popular guy ends up defending her and things kind of go from there. So it's a very typical high school romance anime, but the art style is fantastic. fantastic. Like, it is so colorful and like enticing. And then I think something I really enjoy is the character development from the girl. She very much starts to come out of her shell because of this guy. He kind of gives her the courage to stand up for herself and to really accept that she's super cool. So I love that story. It's cute, it's good art, it's well made. Someone is like sawing outside. What the heck? Why are you doing that now? Okay, they're done for a second. I hope they're finished. But Honey Lemon Soda, you've got to watch it, especially if you love like the shoujo slice of life anime. Super good. So those are my anime recs. And then my last segment, I've got to talk about Bob's Burgers. You know, I'm a Bob's Burgers girl. Got to talk about it. Okay, so I'm not going to talk very long about it. However, I just wanted to share a fun fact with you. Did you know that Bob's Burgers was originally pitched as a story about a family of cannibals?
NANI?
I bet you didn't know that. I didn't know that until recently. So, originally the story was pitched that the Belchers were going to be a family of cannibals, and they live next to a crematorium that's run by Mort, who you see often in the show. And it was supposed to be that they would take human remains from the crematorium and put it into their food and all of that. And so it was very disturbing. It's like, oh my gosh. But that idea, of course, got scrapped. When Loren Bouchard, the producer of the show, brought it to the network, they said, probably not a good idea. And essentially, he came up with the idea originally because he wanted the show to stand out, and he was nervous that it wasn't going to cut through all of the other noise on TV. And so he felt like he needed more of an edge to his story. But they said, no, the characters that you've created are edgy enough, and you can really put in a lot of spice into the dialogue and the dynamic and all of that. So that got scrapped. But if you've ever seen the show, the very first episode is called Human Flesh, and Louise starts a rumor at school that they put human flesh into their burgers, and it starts a whole thing with the health inspector. They, put up a big sign on the restaurant saying burgers may contain human remains, and people are like, oh my gosh, they're disgusting, crazy, they're gonna eat us, all this kind of stuff. And so it starts the whole shenanigans, and I thought that it was just a funny start to the show, but it actually was because that's how it was originally pitched. So they kept, I guess, the human flesh idea, but they didn't make them cannibals. So I like that. That's my fun fact for you, my fun Bob's Burgers fact. It's a little disturbing, but there you go. Anyways, I realized I never did an intro and told you guys to like the video, so I'm gonna do it now in my outro. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button, and also go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can see a whole lot more of this face. And also drop a comment down below. Maybe you want to hear more anime recommendations. Maybe you want to ask me something about Bob's Burgers, or let me know what I should talk about next. Drop a comment below, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye!